You want to know what makes me absolutely furious about the WWE Universe right now? Everyone's celebrating Bron Breakker's World Heavyweight Championship win like he's the second coming of Goldberg, but let me tell you something that's going to make your blood boil. This 26-year-old walked into the main roster, skipped the line past every single hardworking wrestler who's been grinding for years, and got handed the most prestigious title on Raw like it was a participation trophy. And before you slam that comment section telling me I'm wrong, hear me out, because what happened on Raw wasn't just a title change, it was a declaration that everything you thought you knew about earning your spot in professional wrestling just got thrown out the window. Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, all these veterans who've paid their dues for over a decade, watching this genetic lottery winner waltz in and take what they've been fighting for. But here's the thing that's really going to twist your mind, maybe, just maybe, that's exactly why this was the most brilliant and necessary move WWE has made in years. Stay with me because by the end of this video, your entire perspective on this championship win is going to change, and you're going to understand why this moment could define the next era of professional wrestling. Let me take you back to that moment on Raw when Bron Breakker's music hit and the crowd absolutely erupted. The energy in that arena was electric, you could feel it through the screen, reverberating through every fan watching at home. This wasn't some polite golf clap for a corporate chosen champion, this was genuine, raw emotion from fans who witnessed something special, something they knew they'd be talking about for years to come. Breakker stood in that ring, World Heavyweight Championship gleaming on his shoulder, sweat pouring down his face, chest heaving from the battle he just endured, and in that instant, a new era began. The son of Rick Steiner, the nephew of Scott Steiner, carrying the legacy of one of wrestling's most feared families, had reached the mountaintop. But legacy doesn't win championships, talent does, and what Breakker displayed in that match was nothing short of phenomenal. The power, the athleticism, the killer instinct that's been missing from WWE programming for far too long. When he hit the devastating spear that nearly sent his opponent through the mat, the impact so thunderous that the ring shook, you didn't just see a finishing move, you saw a statement being made to every single person in that locker room. This is my time, this is my company, and I'm not asking for permission anymore. The look in his eyes after the 3 count wasn't relief or surprise, it was pure determination, the look of someone who knew this was always his destiny. Now I know what you're thinking, and trust me, I've seen all the Twitter warriors and Reddit keyboard warriors crying about how this is another example of WWE pushing someone because of their last name. The nepotism accusations are flying faster than Breakker's gorilla press slams, with fans dissecting every decision that led to this moment. But let's have an honest conversation that nobody else wants to have, a conversation that goes beyond surface-level criticism and digs into the reality of professional wrestling. Yes, being a Steiner opened doors for Bron, but it didn't keep those doors open. Do you think Vince McMahon, Triple H, or anyone in that Stamford office is going to strap a rocket to someone's back just because of their daddy if they can't deliver night after night? This business is cutthroat, it's unforgiving, and it will chew you up and spit you out faster than you can say WrestleMania if you don't have what it takes. Look at all the second and third generation wrestlers who flamed out, who couldn't live up to the hype, who had every advantage and still failed miserably. David Flair, Eric Watts, Ted DiBiase Jr., the list goes on and on of wrestlers who had famous fathers but couldn't make it work. Breakker isn't one of them because he's not coasting on his name, he's building his own legend with every single match, and that championship win proved it beyond any shadow of doubt. The match itself was an absolute war, and if you missed it, you need to go back and watch it right now because what transpired was wrestling storytelling at its finest, a masterclass in psychology, athleticism, and pure intensity. From the opening bell, Breakker brought an intensity that felt dangerous, like anything could happen at any moment, like someone might actually get seriously hurt. His opponent threw everything at him, every trick in the book, every veteran move designed to slow down the young powerhouse, targeting his legs to take away his explosive speed, working over his back to neutralize his power game. But Breakker kept coming, like a freight train that couldn't be derailed. He absorbed punishment that would have finished lesser men, kicks that echoed throughout the arena and made the audience wince in sympathy, submission holds that had him moments away from tapping out, his hand hovering over the mat as the crowd held their collective breath. But that Steiner DNA wouldn't let him quit, that family pride that's been passed down through generations of tough, hard-nosed wrestlers who never knew the meaning of surrender. And when the tide finally turned, when Breakker caught his second wind and unleashed that supernatural strength that seems to defy the laws of physics, it was like watching a force of nature that couldn't be contained. The Frankensteiner from the top rope that had the entire crowd on their feet, hands on their heads in disbelief, the multiple spears that each one looked more devastating than the last, each impact louder than the previous one, and finally, the decisive pinfall that counted 1, 2, 3, and changed everything we thought we knew about the Raw roster. But let's talk about what this really means for the World Heavyweight Championship and for Monday Night Raw going forward, because this isn't just about one man's victory, this is about the entire direction of the company and where professional wrestling is heading in this new era. For months, we've heard fans complaining that WWE has become too predictable, too safe, too afraid to take risks on new stars, always falling back on the same old reliable veterans who've held those championships multiple times before. They wanted the Attitude Era back, they wanted that edge, that unpredictability where anything could happen on any given night. Well, congratulations, you got it, and now half of you are mad about it because it didn't happen the way you fantasy booked it in your heads while sitting on your couch eating chips. Breakker as champion represents something WWE hasn't had in a long time, a genuine badass who looks like he could legitimately hurt someone, who carries himself like a champion should, with that perfect blend of confidence and controlled aggression that makes him both marketable and dangerous. He's not out there doing comedy sketches or getting involved in ridiculous storylines about stolen cars or supernatural powers. He's a fighter, pure and simple, and that's what the World Heavyweight Championship should represent. It should be held by someone who makes you believe that they're the baddest person in the building, someone who when they walk to that ring, you genuinely believe they could beat anyone on the roster. The aftermath of the championship win has been even more fascinating to watch unfold because suddenly, the entire Raw roster has shifted into a different gear. Every single wrestler in that locker room knows that there's a new sheriff in town, and if they want that title, they're going to have to go through an absolute beast to get it. The promos we've gotten since that victory have been fire, with veterans calling out Breakker, claiming he hasn't earned the right to hold that title, that he needs to prove himself against real competition, against people who've been doing this for 15 or 20 years. And you know what Breakker's response has been? Not some scripted corporate response full of respect and humility, but a genuine fighting challenge. Bring them all on, one by one or all at once, because he didn't win the championship to play it safe, he wanted to dominate, to run through the entire roster like a wrecking ball through a condemned building. This is the kind of champion that creates must-see television every single week because you genuinely don't know what's going to happen, who's going to step up next, who's going to get destroyed in spectacular fashion, and that's exactly what wrestling should be. It should be unpredictable, it should be exciting, and it should make you clear your schedule every Monday night because you cannot afford to miss what's about to go down. The comparisons to past champions are inevitable, and everyone's got their opinion on where Breakker ranks already, which is insane considering he just won the title and hasn't even had his first official defense yet. Some are saying he's got Batista's raw power and presence, Goldberg's intensity and undefeated streak potential, and Brock Lesnar's legitimate toughness and athleticism all rolled into one terrifying package. Others are more cautious, saying we need to see how he handles the pressure of being champion over the long haul, how he performs in those big pay-per-view matches when everything is on the line and the whole world is watching, how he deals with the grueling schedule and the constant target on his back. But here's what nobody can deny, regardless of where they stand on the nepotism debate, Bron Breakker passes the eye test with flying colors. When he walks down that ramp, purposeful and focused, he looks like a champion, like someone who belongs at the top of the card. When he stands in the ring, he commands attention, every eye in the arena glued to him, waiting to see what he's going to do next. And when he speaks on the microphone, people listen, because there's an authenticity to his words that you can't manufacture. That's not something you can teach in wrestling school, that's not something you can fake with good camera angles and clever editing, you either have it or you don't, and Breakker has it in abundance. The presence he brings is reminiscent of the greatest champions in wrestling history, that aura that makes you stop whatever you're doing and pay attention because something important is happening. What makes this championship reign potentially legendary is the list of opponents waiting in the wings, salivating at the opportunity to take that title from him. The dream matches that can now happen, matches that will sell out arenas and break pay-per-view records. Imagine Breakker defending against Drew McIntyre in a clash of titans that would tear the house down, two powerhouses going move for move in a display of strength and determination. Picture the psychological warfare of a feud with Seth Rollins, the architect and mastermind trying to outsmart the powerhouse, using his veteran savvy and cunning to counter Breakker's youth and strength. Think about the family drama if they bring in his uncle Scott Steiner for an angle. The promos alone would be worth the price of admission, that Steiner microphone work combined with the intensity of Breakker creating television gold. And down the line, when the time is right, the potential for Breakker vs Roman Reigns in a true dream match for the ages, or Breakker vs Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania in a passing of the torch moment could be the kind of match that defines a generation of wrestling fans. This championship win isn't the end of Breakker's story, it's just the beginning of what could be the most dominant and memorable title run in modern wrestling history. The possibilities are endless, the potential is unlimited, and that's what makes this so exciting for everyone who loves professional wrestling. So here's where I'm going to lose some of you, but I need to say it anyway because it's the truth that nobody wants to admit, the uncomfortable reality that's staring us all in the face. Wrestling fans are hypocrites, and I say that with love because I'm one of you. I'm in the trenches with you every Monday night. For years, literally years, we've begged for WWE to create new stars, to stop relying on part-timers and legends who show up 4 times a year, to build the next generation of superstars who can carry the company forward into the future. But the moment they actually do it, the moment they take that leap of faith and put that World Heavyweight Championship on a young, talented, hungry wrestler like Bron Breakker who represents everything we claimed we wanted, half the fanbase loses their minds and complains that it's too soon, that he hasn't paid enough dues, that their favorite wrestler deserved it more. You can't have it both ways, you can't demand change and then get angry when change actually happens, when the company finally listens to what you've been screaming about for years. Breakker's championship win is exactly what the business needs right now, a shot of adrenaline directly into the heart of Monday Night Raw, a statement that the future is now and it's not asking for permission from anyone. This is bold, this is risky, this is the kind of decision that separates great wrestling companies from mediocre ones that play it safe and wonder why their ratings are declining. The beauty of this moment, what really makes it special beyond just the championship change itself, is that it creates a ripple effect throughout the entire WWE landscape, not just on Raw but across all brands and developmental territories. Young wrestlers in NXT are looking at Breakker's success and realizing that if they work hard enough, if they're good enough and dedicated enough to this business, the main roster isn't a ceiling, it's a launching pad to greatness and stardom. Veterans are being forced to adapt or get left behind because the game has changed, the rules are different now, and comfort zones don't exist anymore in this new competitive environment. The midcard guys are working harder, training smarter, cutting better promos because they see that opportunity is real if you can grab it. And fans, well, we're getting the unpredictable, exciting, must-watch television that we've been demanding for years but never thought we'd actually get. Every title defense is going to matter, every Raw is going to feel important and consequential, and that's how you build momentum week after week. That's how you create stars that transcend wrestling and become mainstream icons, and that's how you remind the world why WWE is the premier wrestling promotion on the planet. Bron Breakker winning the World Heavyweight Championship wasn't a mistake made by out-of-touch executives, wasn't premature or rushed, and wasn't undeserved based on political connections. It was necessary for the health of the company, it was earned through countless hours in the gym and in the ring, and it was absolutely the right move at the right time for everyone involved. The wrestling world has been put on notice, and whether you love it or hate it, whether you're celebrating or complaining, you cannot ignore it. Bron Breakker is the World Heavyweight Champion, and that's a fact that's going to define Monday Night Raw for the foreseeable future. The question now isn't whether he deserved it, but how long can he hold it, how will he defend it, and who will ultimately be the one to take it from him? Those are the questions that will keep us all tuning in week after week, invested in the storylines, passionate about the outcomes. So now drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Tell me if you think Breakker is the real deal or just another flash in the pan who'll lose the title in 3 months. Let me know who you want to see challenge him first. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this video and want to see more championship analysis and wrestling hot takes, and subscribe to the channel because this championship reign is just getting started and you're not going to want to miss what happens next. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Let's witness greatness together, let's be part of history as it unfolds, and let's see if Bron Breakker can live up to the hype and become one of the all-time great champions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.